Namaskaram, Ashwin.
Sadhguru, namaskar.
Yeah. So, you're doing well in Chennai. Chennai is exploding with all these infections, huh?
Initially, I felt like I was okay, but now I'm getting really edgy. I want to go out and play or do something like that. I'm getting really edgy inside the house.
No, but Tamil Nadu was well controlled in the beginning, first 3 weeks, but now it's going off.
But isn't it like the fact that it will go in high numbers all over the country? I don't know because the numbers are increasing every day. It's getting a little concerning.
Yes, it is. At the same time, almost 70% or 75% is within 20 districts. That way it's not spread. But now this migrant labor has gone across the country, back home. So will they spread it there is a question. But I generally feel the rural population may be having enough immune system within themselves that they may not be casualties there big time except very vulnerable, very aged group of people. See, everybody is talking about this herd immunity and all this stuff. If you go that way, if you go towards herd immunity, you will wipe out the geriatric population in the country or in the world. So, that is not really an option, but if it goes away, runs away in that direction…
But Sadhguru, tell me something in this current situation where we are standing. What is the direction that people should look for? Because at one side of it, a lot of people are looking for livelihoods. A lot of people, I mean, thankfully we are all blessed. I'm in the blessed category where I can still have sufficient to eat on a day-to-day basis and still manage to handle my anxieties. Then there are another set of people who are struggling to run their businesses. The economy is suffering. What is the answer to this? How long will people have to bite the bullet?
See, no nation can afford to close itself down forever, okay? We have done exemplarily well, actually. Over 65 days, we've been closed. I think with 95% pass mark, maybe 2 to 5% might have failed, but largely we've done that. But the nature of the virus is such, if there is one person left with infection, he will again start a new cycle. That's how it is, because even if you have been infected once and you come out negative later, still you're vulnerable to infection. That is what we are seeing. So having said that, it is… unfortunately, maybe in the end we only have to think of herd immunity, but that will be a terrible thing because our parents, grandparents will all get wiped out. That's what it means. So, there is… see, there is no clear voice from the scientific community anywhere in the world to say this is the nature of this virus, we can do this. There is no clear voice about that because nobody has figured out what exactly it is. There is still debates going on. I was talking to, this Global Doctors Association, and they are saying every day they are publishing now, writing 128 papers per day is being done, thousands of papers. Every day somebody is discovering something new about the virus and they're writing on it, 128 per day average is happening. So, that means we are that confused, all right? So, without a clear perception that this is the nature of the virus, this is how it'll behave, even if we don't find a vaccine, at least if we have a proper, treatment protocol, we can feel comfortable. Right now, there is no treatment protocol. Somebody says take hydrochloroquine, somebody says take that Ebola drug, somebody says take the HIV drug, somebody says drink Lysol. It's like variety of things. Well, we are giving Nilavembu to everybody. We just shooting, we're shooting in the dark, literally. Only thing we can do is strengthening the immune system. For this we have protocols, which is what we are doing, and we are trying to mass, implement it as far as possible. Some simple yogic practice, little bit of care about what you eat, and a few other Ayurvedic and Siddha concoctions which will boost the immune system. This got nothing to do with the virus. something to do with us.
With the ability to fight. Sadhguru, just one more question I've been wanting to ask, and I seem to find it very difficult to get answers very clearly.
You can ask me any question, don't throw me carom ball and all, I'll hit it for a 6, be careful.
No, I'll come to your cricket abilities very soon, Sadhguru, because I've seen you play all sport. I want to understand, what are you? Are you a bowler or a batsman, Sadhguru?
I was an all-rounder in the school, but once I got to college, I got more involved with field hockey and kind of dropped my cricket.
Okay, but did you find cricket exciting or hockey was a better sport?
Hockey was more exciting because you were always on your feet and doing something. Cricket today, the way you guys are playing, whatever 2020, all of you are on the edge. But otherwise, those days, if they put you on the boundary, you just stand there for 20–30 minutes doing nothing in the sun, okay? So, it was not my cup of tea.
Sadhguru, the question I wanted to ask was, in general, over the last… I've lived for 30 years, so in the 30 years, whatever has been struck, a massive earthquake in Christchurch, a tsunami in the borders, Indonesia, India, all these borders, for everything that has sort of been very emergency, we have found a mechanism to deal with it, right? At least, if not then and there, we've had a tsunami alert system, an earthquake, a resistant building mechanism, alerting people. All these things are always come about, and we boast ourselves as a very modern tech. We're very, very advanced in terms of technology. How did we not see this coming? And like literally you said, 3–4 months, and most people are not able to come up with an answer. Isn't that scary?
Well, see, whenever major events happen, we find answers with tsunami after the tsunami is over, all right? So next time, will it work the same way? We don't know. But natural calamities, there is a history of thousands of years of memory and history and experience of it. Even though we are surprised sometimes, we still know what it is because it hits you at a certain time and it's over. If a tsunami happened, 10,000 people died, that's it. It's not going to come every day and kill you, that's a different kind of thing. So, earthquakes have happened in Gujarat and all, it killed nearly, I don't know, from 100,000 people, I think. So, but it's a one-time thing. Only thing is, it also destroys your property. This leaves your property, just cleans you up, all right? This is a different kind of thing. This is the nature of virus. In the last 50 years' time, of the 335 diseases, nearly 70% are zootonic. That means they've come from the animals, either bacteria or virus. So this particular virus is not a deadly killer. That is the advantage and that is a big disadvantage. See, when the influenza and other things happened, what is called the Spanish flu today, it just killed everybody. When the plague came, it just wipes out a whole village. So, the response to that was different. Here, the problem is most of them are asymptomatic. Nearly 80% are asymptomatic and they're going all over the place spreading. There's no sign of any illness. So it's like you're sitting, you and me could be carrying it and we don't know because it doesn't show any signs. That is the biggest problem, and it is largely aiming only at vulnerable population. It is not going for the general population. Below 1 year of age, infants, and over 65, 70 years, and in between, for some reason, if their immune systems are not strong enough, or if the exposure is too heavy, like medical personnel are dying, police are, unfortunately it's taking a toll, that is because of the level of exposure. So having said that, why we don't have an answer is, definitely there is something strange about this. But at the same time, at any time when we had these epidemics and pandemics, especially the virus attacks that we've had, we never figured it out, it just went away by itself. Because virus doesn't see you as an enemy, it is seeing you as a habitat. So it is not interested in killing you. Probably in a few months, it will learn the nature of or the strength of the human system and adjust itself. Kind of mutate itself to a lower level of intensity where it can live with us. Right now in our bodies, millions and millions of, viruses and bacteria are living with us right now. For example, tuberculosis for example, if you take it, Right now, India has set a goal by 2025, we'll get rid of tuberculosis. The basic test that is done for tuberculosis around the world is called Manto's test. If you and me go for a test, any Indian goes for a test, we will all show positive. We all have tuberculosis bacilli, but we don't have the disease. But all Indians have it. So, the tuberculosis bacilli, we want to eliminate by 2025, but they're all living with us and we have no issue, most of us. Only if its concentration goes to a certain point, it becomes a disease. Otherwise, almost all Indians carry this quite normally. If the same level of bacilli happens to, let's say, an American or a European person, they will fall sick. We are not falling sick because we have lived with that for so long. So that is what we are looking for as a solution, that's what herd immunity means, that at some point we may get used to the virus. But before that, how many lives will it take? This is not a decision that you make, it may go that way, unfortunately.
Okay, an interesting question I've been wanting to ask you for a long time, Sadhguru. This thing where you speak about Ramayana, Mahabharata and all our so-called mythology now, everybody has a different connotation to whether it happened or didn't happen.
No, that argument is only in Chennai. Whether it happened or not.
These are beliefs, I do not want to get into it, but you said something very interesting when it came to all these epics or mythologies, however you seem to believe. You said there is so much to learn rather than testing the authenticity of whether it happened or not happened. Right. Do we have anything tracing back to those times in order to deal with such a situation that we are in right now?
See, the advantage that those times had was the concentration of population has never been like this, okay? So if it did happen, let us say it happened in Ayodhya, it would not come to Chennai for sure. Only Rama came, he should have brought, but 14 days quarantine would have happened by the time he walked down.
He walked through the Ram Setu dam the thing as well, so it must have gone there as well, not a problem.
No, by the time he walked from Ayodhya to Tamil Nadu border, more than 14 days, so quarantine was over.
And he must have traveled, he must have walked through, right?
Yes, by foot. So it would have taken months, so by then it was over. It's because of air travel. It is essentially because of air travel, so quickly it's across the world.
Right. In fact, I felt like I came into India from New Zealand in March when the virus was actually hitting through the, Singapore and the Chinese region and going into America and all that. At that point of time, it didn't feel like, all of us were sitting inside the zone of saying, you know what, it will not happen in India. There is so much heat, there is so much, in fact, rightly put, so much ignorance amongst the people. Sometimes we believe we shut our eyes inside a closed room and believe there is nothing happening wrong. Even today, I was talking to a couple of my cricketing colleagues and they happen to say, it's become normal. We have to deal with it like cold and fever. We are not yet there, right?
No. See, young people may deal with it just as cold and fever. That too if they're, if they have a sturdy constitution. But that's not how it is. People are just falling dead all over the place. When nearly 500,000 people have died, you can't say it's cold and fever. But at the same time, every year, influenza in America kills 50,000–60,000 people, like this. But this is not going to pass like that virus. This can continue and come back in waves and waves. It is possible, but we still don't know. I have a gut feeling in India, by mid-September, towards the end of September, it will be largely gone and our economic activity will be back to normal. It may not be where it was a few months ago, but in terms of activity, it will be back. But I have no data, not an iota of data to support my gut feeling. There's no data.
No, gut feeling is the best feeling that we all can have in terms of reassurance. But just on another note, Sadhguru, I saw some article and some video where I'm sure you're aware of Leonardo DiCaprio, who's doing a lot of things with regards to climate change. He had put out a tweet and an Instagram post saying a lot of people who have been affected by pollution over the years are tending to receive this virus in a very, very, detrimental fashion. Is this virus in any way relation of what we have done? You said there is something funny about it. Any relation to what we have done to the environment and how we have, just polluted and populated it all over the place? Is it our doing?
Population is definitely our doing. Pollution is also our doing. All right, is there any doubt about it? No.
Anything other than that, environmentally, how we have, not respected nature over the years?
See, right now, one of the major reasons why people are dying because of the virus is hypoxia. That means not enough oxygen in the system, so lungs collapse after some time, whatever happens, other systems fail. In a way, if you're living in an Indian city, or let's say any big city, particularly Indian cities, in many ways you are heading towards hypoxia if you just travel on the, let's say Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore roads for 1 or 2 hours every day, in open, suppose your car is not air-conditioned and you're open, like on a two-wheeler or you're just walking, then definitely the oxygen levels in your blood will be lower than what it should be. So definitely you are moving into that vulnerable population region. Maybe not necessarily, but you're in the direction at least, for sure. It may vary from individual to individual, but when you live in this kind of atmosphere where oxygen levels are low, carbon monoxide and other particulate matter is heavy, definitely your pulmonary system is not at the same level as it should be. So you are becoming a vulnerable population. Even now you're seeing almost 70% of the cases are just in 5-6 cities in the country probably, about 10 to 12 cities maximum. Rest of the country doesn't have it, the rural population doesn't really have it. And one more thing that I've constantly been telling in the ashram, everybody is practicing right now is to stay in touch with the earth. If you stay in touch with the earth, your immune system is always many times stronger than other people. So this is one of the treatments we do for all the patients who come. I must tell you this situation. We used to… earlier, now we are calling it Rejuvenation Center, but at one time we used to call this Isha Yogic Hospital. There was a hospital. So about 10-12 doctors from Michigan area, from the Ford medical system, they came here because they were very interested in the yogic hospital. So I couldn't meet them, they were here for about 3 days and I'm talking many years ago, like about 22 years ago or so. So they came and after the third day, it seems they got very angry, they called me in the morning and said, Sadhguru, their doctors are all very upset, they want to leave right away. I said, what is the issue? We said, we don't know, they're screaming and yelling. I went to meet them. Then I said, what is the problem? They said, you said there is a yogic hospital. We walked around everywhere in the center, there is no hospital here. Oh, I said, okay, your idea of a hospital is that there must be beds, people must be lying down, somebody must be serving them. If you provide that kind of hospitality, nobody will get well. See, children always like to fall sick. How old are your children, huh?
They're about 5 and 3.5.
Yeah, that 3.5 guy, watch him, because they like to fall sick. Because when they are sick, everybody does momo, poo 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 and all that. They love it, okay? Every child learns at an early age that if you are unwell, if you are miserable, if you cry, you get lots of attention. If you're happy, joyful, screaming and you're dancing around, you don't get attention. This is a thing that every family has to change. So I said, no, that's not the way it is. I had about 110 people on that day who are going through some treatments. I said, see, in this hospital, we wake them at 5 o'clock, 5:30 they have to be there for the sadhana, 8 o'clock sadhana is over, then I put them to work in the garden or in the kitchen or somewhere else where they have to use their hands and everything, and they may get little more rest than others, that's it, they're under medication and practices, but they have to be involved, and especially with the earth, they must be involved. Then I took them around and made them meet all the people who were working in the garden. Our patients were all working hard. So they will want to get well if you make them work hard, always.
Because you said that you need to be in touch with earth, I'm asking this. There are two schools of medical treatment, it's not two, maybe more than that. But off late I'm getting attached to this sort of theory where the body knows to treat itself. Are we over-treating ourselves because we get an influenza or a virus? Is there a tendency that we over-treat our body and kind of misguide it?
I would say I cannot comment about you as an individual, but as a human population, this generation of people, are we over-treating? 100%, we are over-treating. We are overdoing everything. In the sense, right now, the pharmaceutical industry is bigger than the food industry, I think. Am I right?
It
I
must
think
be.
it is.
On becoming the biggest right now.
Yeah. The largest industry is arms and armaments. Second largest is pharmaceuticals. The third one is alcohol and tobacco and these things put together. So one is a clear death, another takes you towards it, another pretends to get you back. Having said that, I am not trying to discount the impact of modern medicine. You and me are alive today, probably only because of modern medicine. Otherwise, small things could have killed us. Average life expectancy of an Indian was 28 years in 1947. Today it is 73 or 74, which is a significant achievement for the nation. But that's not happened without vaccines and things like that. Otherwise, anything, smallpox, this, that could have killed us. So, our life, we owe it to modern medicine, there's no question. But in present conditions, at the level of concentration of populations that we have, without modern medicine, I don't think we can survive. Without pharmaceuticals, you cannot survive. There was a time when people lived in nature, there was substantial space for every human being, then it was possible to just eat some leaves or eat some fruit or just fast for 2 days and get well, all this. Even now you can do if you're maintaining your lifestyle like that. But every day you're out in the town, meeting 1,000 people and mixing with people, then if something catches up, then you better take some medicine, otherwise it'll be risky.